So quick update before I begin this video, YouTube sub boxes really are broken. You're not seeing all my videos, some people are even getting unsubbed, so make sure you become a part of that notification squad, hit the bell, send all notifications, ring the bell, and then we're good to go. You might have already missed some really good videos, so be sure to check out all the links in the description just to make sure you've seen all the moveset guides and all the gameplay guides I have done so far. Have you seen my legendary catching or even my EV guide? You might not have. So now let's also talk about the awesome things going on in Pokemon Sun and Moon right now. So we have some huge Pokemon Sun and Moon news today for you guys. Combined, North America, Europe, and Japan have sold 7.2 million copies of Pokemon Sun and Moon already. This is an insane amount because for Pokemon X and Y, and I believe even Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, the performance was around 4 million copies by this time. So in just 2 to 3 years, the size of the Pokemon audience for buying the games has almost doubled, and with 7.2 million people playing Pokemon, that is just a crazy amount. Now, the thing was, the sales figures back in Japan, they didn't really change too much. It was like a little more than 2 million bought Pokemon X and Y, and a little less than 2 million bought Pokemon Sun and Moon. I don't think that that's too big of a problem, because Japan, it already has a big Pokemon following, but the big number right here is that in less than 2 weeks, Pokemon Sun and Moon have sold 3.7 million units in North America. And also remember, Europe had the late release, so there could be another 500,000 to maybe even 1 million European sales on the way within the next week. And we're almost at Christmas, so there's going to be even more copies sold. That's why this is super exciting for me to see right here. 3.7 million units in North America. So many people are playing Pokemon right now, and that is awesome. It looks like Pokemon Go did have a huge impact. This is almost doubling the sales for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire or X and Y for their first week. So that's why I'm like super excited. I think it also goes in line with what's going on with the global mission. So remember, guys, we still have 100 million Pokemon to catch. I was wondering like what the figures were. I estimated maybe 5 million people had the game, but right now it's over 7 million, and it's all up to whoever can register on the global link. Because remember, not every person that buys the game is going to register on the global link, but I think we're still dealing with some pretty insane numbers. So we can get like 500,000 to 1 million people on global link. This might be achievable. However, we're on day 2 of this. Well, like technically the second day, and we're kind of through it, but we're not even close to that amount. So I just went on to the Pokemon Festival Plaza, and I'm checking out how many we've caught. So almost 2 million Pokemon have been caught for this. Now, I know this doesn't count for everyone. You know, someone might not have logged in already. There might be a lot of people that aren't even going to check until the end of the event. But we need roughly like 7 million Pokemon caught per day, and this is the second day, and we're not even at 2 million. So I think the big problem is there might be a disconnect from every copy sold to how many people are actually engaging online. You know, I meet a lot of people during the day that play Pokemon stuff, and they're not even aware that PokeTubing is a thing. They're not even aware that the Pokemon YouTube channel exists or what the global link even is. So we need to get as many people like understanding that there is much more outside the game when it comes to Pokemon right now. You need to sign up for the global link, you need to start going for these events, and then we might actually be able to hit these numbers. So hopefully we start getting close on this one, but it's not looking that good. Now, time for the rest of the video. So this kind of ties into some of the older videos I've been doing that I already talked about the 100 million Pokemon, and now we have the hard numbers on the sales figures. But also when it comes to some of the videos I've been making, I got a couple things wrong, or there was new information that has come out in that time. So if you guys are looking for a video, I've probably already done a guide on it. I get a lot of comments, a lot of tweets like, oh hey, have you done a Festival Plaza guide? Have you done a EV guide? Have you done these? I have it, and there'll be a link in the description to all of the like playlists and stuff that I am doing right now. But apparently you can get shiny Pokemon in the Pelago. That on the Isle of Beans, that one of the Pokemon that can appear can be shiny. I've had like 5 people tweet this out to me like, hey, I just got a shiny Skarmory. I just got a shiny Lapras. I even had this guy right here. I didn't realize my Kadabra was shiny until I registered it. Oh, I thought it was like, you know, the color just looks different on the island. No, that's got a shiny Kadabra off of the Pelago. So it's actually worth checking every day for your just doing all the events and stuff. That you need to get tons of beans so you can get tons of things. That way you can go and partake in all events. And I finally got my first gold bottle cap. So I've been doing the treasure hunting every day, 1 to 2 times a day, almost every 12 hours for the last week. I've probably done like 11 treasure runs, and I finally get a gold bottle cap. So it's showing the odds kind of low, and I've seen someone tweet me actually getting 3 golden bottle caps in one run. So it just kind of shows that capitalizing on the pelago is going to be one of the best things that you can do. Always collecting beans, always working for that, because another change, or not even a change, something else that has been discovered that I kind of didn't understand well in my guide, is that when we are going for the berries are actually going to work a little differently than we expected. So all you have to do is upgrade your berry farm, and you're going to get a larger yield, not because you have more berries being planted, but every single berry tree is going to give you more berries. So as we can see right here, there's kind of like even denominations of numbers that kind of balance out. So we go 4, 8, 12. So at rank 1 you get 4 oran berries, at rank 2 you get 8, and at rank 3 you get 12. And that kind of shows for all of these other ones. So that shows it's good to have a 2 or 3 rank Isle of Plenty. But yeah, that's like how it works. So you can put in beans to get twice the amount of berries, or get them twice as fast. So that way you can cut down the time to grow in half, which means, yeah, look at these, 24 hours for these berries. Well, that means you can get a lepa berry harvest every 12 hours for 12 berries per thing at max rank, and even all these other really good berries, like the EV reducing berries. I didn't think they were going to be as farmable as they ended up being, but you can get them every 48 hours. So with these EV reducing berries, you can actually get a really good yield as well. As long as you're putting in, I think, 36 beans a day, or like 70 beans total, even though it won't let you max out that number, you'll be able to get the harvest in 24 hours, which means in 24 hours you're getting 14 kelpsie berries per patch. And if you have all the patches going, it doesn't take any more beans. So now that means you can get hundreds of berries in a single day through this method. So it's actually really good to just go out and upgrade it. That it's actually a change on Cerebi that you say you can use Poke Beans to increase the harvest, but actually to increase the speed, and the harvest comes through upgrading all of your patches right there. So that's something really awesome right there. And also we have an update to pickup. So we didn't really know how pickup worked. People were finding random items at random times, and things were just kind of happening. Well, apparently there's no more like leveling table for pickup. That you used to see that little graph where it's like, oh, at level 50 that's when you start finding certain items, at level 80 it gets more common or something. Well, apparently pickup just always works now, that there is a large table of potential loot that you can receive, and it's all kinds of crazy items. Big nuggets, bomb mushrooms, destiny knot, elixir, great ball, heart scale, max revive. The list goes on, so you can make a lot of money off of this method, and also you're not gated. That the second you go and catch a level 5, 7, or whatever Alolan Meowth, if it has pickup, you could end up with a PP up. You could end up with a rare candy on your next encounter or through your next pickup, and that's going to be really nice right there. So I think for the Destiny Knot, since that's going to be an absolute staple to breeding, just get some pickup Pokemon and level them naturally. Just play the game naturally, or even try to get like 2 Alolan Meowth just to have throughout your Pokemon adventure when you're first going through the playthrough of the game. And the odds are, since you'll just spend so many times, so many hours, you're going to end up with a Destiny Knot and a lot more useful items as well. So you don't have to even get a high level Pokemon. I was getting lots of reports of this as I was doing my video. Some of the comments, some of the things I was getting on Twitter, people were just talking about like, oh, my Alolan Meowth got it at level 30. What's up here? Well, it just kind of shows that the odds go higher for the rare items, and we don't really know the rarity table for these items so far, but you can get anything at any time, so that actually works out really well. Now, as for the usable list of pickup Pokemon, this is going to be it right here. However, with the Alola Pokedex, we're not going to see all of these just yet, but Pick-a-Peck through hidden ability, you can get that right there. Munchlax, you can encounter those Pokemon, Meowth, and then Lillipup. So if you get any of those guys, or just get all of them, and then start going for some crazy pickup stuff, Bomb mushrooms, big nuggets, all these items are incredibly valuable. So yeah, you can actually maybe tack this onto a money-making method, and it could just give you a little bit extra. And then the last couple of updates, I have talked about the streak prizes on the battle tree, but I haven't really brought it up a lot. Pretty much, you can get an extra bottle cap this way. So in my bottle cap guide, I didn't really talk about how you could get this bottle cap. 30 straight wins, come back the next day, you can receive your bottle cap. So that's pretty much how the streak prizes work. You can get some really awesome things, and it is the only way of getting the Starfberry and the Landsat Berry. Now these are really unusual berries. I believe Starfberry is just a gamble. Held by Pokemon sharply raises one of its stats randomly in a pinch. So once it drops down to 25% health, instead of being like a Salac Berry and giving you +1 to speed, it'll give you +2 to something. So it's like a free aromatherapy when you get access to that. And then the Landsat Berry, I believe that's a critical hit. So raises critical hit in a pinch. It can be usable because like that +1 to the crit ratio could snowball the other 2 that you need for the crit ratio, and then you could crit every time, but you'll be at low health. So you don't really see these berries too often, if ever, in competitive play, but still the only way of receiving these berries, even though they are still legal. So if you see someone pop a Starfberry, they're not hacking, they just had the 200 win streak on the battle tree, maybe. So now we can also go and talk about the last little things, hyper training. So I did in my first Pokemon location guide, I was talking about the Dittos. I was like, oh, you could just, you know, pop the bottle caps on the Ditto and then use them to breed. Well, that was before the information about actually hyper training not affecting any kind of breeding came through. So I just wanted to reiterate that point right there on the hyper training, that you can't use bottle caps to increase IVs and then use it for breeding, unfortunately. But you can still just try to go for like high chain Pokemon, get 4 IVs in a 40 chain on a Pokemon or something, and then you can use that to breed. So that's going to be the most efficient method right there. And I just kind of want to keep saying, yo, bottle caps, they don't work that way. And then it's time to talk about the last little bit of information. So in my experience guide, I was talking about the Alolan Marowak. I was also talking about the Aegislash. I kind of got things wrong. Apparently, the Aegislash was in shield form when I first did the damage calculation. So blade form Aegislash is going to do really well. Also, people were talking about other methods for the Marowak. So you can actually use a low-level Marowak, well, the Alolan Marowak, because it gets Rock Head as a hidden ability, and it's available through SOS battles. So you SOS the Cubone, you get the Rock Head, and then you can use Flare Blitz, which is going to do insane amounts of damage, and you can still even use the Flame Wheel. Also, this was against the Beware method. So Beware is not going to be able to do any damaging moves to you because you are a Ghost-type Pokemon, and if you want the Alolan Marowak, you'll just level up Cubone at night for level 28. But then what you just do is use Swords Dance. So I wasn't even thinking about the other ways of setting up. I was just like, oh, this is a cool idea, but seems a little complicated. Actually, it isn't. You can get roughly a level 40, a level 50 Alolan Marowak. You just Swords Dance, since the Beware can't affect you, and then you can just one-shot all the other Bewares, and then we can use the Lepa Berry method from earlier on this video to infinitely restore our PP, and then we're just going to be able to farm up Bewares for the fastest experience possible while keeping it at low health through the Pain Split method. I'll try to remember to put links to all these videos I'm talking about in the description. Like I said, I'll just be posting the playlist for all of my strategy guides and stuff, so if you want to see if I've covered a Pokemon moveset yet, go do that. The problem is, YouTube sub boxes are broken. I'm hearing people like, oh, I got unsubbed from you, oh, I don't see all of your videos every day. It's really annoying that that happens, so you might actually miss the video that you want to see, so I recommend going back and checking through all my guides and all my videos, and you might see something that you didn't really know about. So I'm going to start working on a lot of the how to use movesets pretty much starting today, and I'm also going to be covering a lot of the other things as well. So that's kind of making sure everything is still working with Pokemon Sun and Moon, and just so that I'm not putting out misinformation, just kind of bringing the big updates like shiny Pokemon. That's going to take, you know, a week or so of people playing to find out that you can get the shiny Pokemon in the Pokepelago. Also, for experience methods, people were saying that Miltank and Golduck give comparable experience to the Beware. Now, the thing about Beware that I really liked is that if you have that Ghost-type Pokemon, if you have that False Swipe Ghost-type Pokemon, then you're going to be able to just never take damage, and if you have level 1 hit point, or if you have 1 hit points already, or very low hit points, then it's not really going to matter if it's going for the Pain Split. So it's actually the perfect Pokemon to farm up of once you start getting this False Swipe Pokemon in. Also, people got mad at me, all the Decidueye fans out there. I'm super sorry, because you can also have False Swipe on the Decidueye. So that's another Pokemon that you can use this method for. The Decidueye, it can sit up, and then it can False Swipe, and then it can try to one-shot all the Bewares and stuff. Also does technically have a special set, so you could, like, Nasty Plot into... what else is it? You can Nasty Plot into, like, a lot of stuff, and then go into, like, Shadow Ball, and then you don't have to worry about making contact, and then you get the extra damage. So then we're going to be good to go. So if you guys enjoyed this video, talking about a lot of things going on in Pokemon Sun and Moon right now, I hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.